Hey there, so this video is going to be on how to tune your instrument. I would like for parents to also learn how to tune the instrument with the students so you guys can help each other and avoid accidents and broken strings and damaged instruments. Parents, you will be very, very helpful in this, so I encourage you to sit with your student and to learn along with them so you guys can support each other, okay? So the first thing I want to do is briefly talk about the parts of the instrument. Two different parts of the instrument we're going to focus on. The fine tuners down here. Now, some instruments don't have fine tuners. Most of our student model instruments will. But these are located down here, okay? Just remember that. And then if there's anything to be concerned with, it is going to be these guys, okay? The pegs. The standard pegs are simply just pieces of wood stuck inside of the scroll. So you actually have to use pressure and you tighten it as you push in, and it's a wedge that holds the string, okay? What I want to do first is I want to check and make sure if I can tune it with the fine tuners, right? The fine tuners will be a lot easier because I can go forward and backwards without possibly breaking a string. If it's really out of tune, let's say something happened and my cello bumped something and my peg got bumped and it sounds like this. An A should not sound that way. And it doesn't matter how much I tune down here, the peg is what I need to focus on because this simply won't be able to tighten enough. The fine tuners are, they don't tune the instrument a whole lot. They're great for tuning in to the correct pitch, right? But the pegs change the sound to a great degree. So if their instrument's really out of tune, your best bet is to use the pegs. Now, with the pegs, and the reason why I want parents involved as well, again, you have to push and turn. What I use is a tuner. You can go on the App Store. It doesn't matter what phone you have and just find a free tuner. Most will have this little gauge, and I'll post a video about this separately. Or it'll have a pitch pipe that I like, but the little gauge might be more helpful to you. You can also buy aftermarket tuners as well that clip on to the bridge. And I encourage you, if you have more questions, you can always email me about that type of thing, or just go down to a music store and they'll work with you. But for right now, we're going to keep going. So we have our tuner. We've checked the tuning. That's not an A, so we got to tune with the pegs. I'm going to push and turn. Now, do you hear how it's sticking as I'm turning? That's a good sign, and that's how the pegs operate. They won't be smooth if they're not friction pegs with gears. If they're the old-timey pegs, that's just a piece of wood stuck in a hole, like most are, it'll be incremental, so you won't be able to get the exact tuning. Now, here's the danger. You can pop the string if you go too far, and we don't want that. So what you're going to do is get kind of close. You're going to check, and what I'll do is I'll use my pitch pipe. That's pretty close, if not correct. So what I'll do is I'll look on the gauge on my phone, and I'm going to bow. If you are a beginner, we'll pluck. Okay, but for right now, I'm going to bow. It actually says I'm correct. But if I wasn't correct, I would simply either tighten or loosen, depending on whether or not it was too far sharp or too far flat, right? So we'll be working with ear training during our online tutorial, so your student will gradually learn what pitches are sharp and what pitches are flat, so they'll actually be able to help you. What I really need parents to do is just to make sure that the instrument's kept safe and that you're not over tightening the peg and breaking a string, okay? So that's how you tune the instrument. Just to go back over, fine tuners are for tuning it when it's not really out of tune. And this is really what you'll be using most of the time. You really should not have to use these pegs unless the instrument isn't being stored properly, okay? Which we'll be going back over in class, and you should ask your student what we talked about. But for your information, instruments should be kept in a stable climate. They should not be kept in a hot car and then brought into a cold house and then back and forth, back and forth. They should really be kept in a nice, cool environment that does not change in temperature and humidity, okay? And that will keep the instrument not only safe from damage, but will keep the tuning stable. So you're only really dealing with the fine tuners down here. If your fine tuners are sticky or they're very hard to use, then what you can do is go and Google fine tuner compound. And there's some products out there that I can't recommend a brand because I'm affiliated with public schools and that's illegal. But you can just look up fine tuner compound and then pick a brand that you like reviews on. And then you can literally follow the instructions carefully and just place it right here on the fine tuner. So if your student tells you that the fine tuners are broken and that they need new fine tuners, you should see if some compound will fix it first. Oftentimes it will. And check and make sure the fine tuner isn't driven all the way inside of the tailpiece. It should be not all the way out, but it should be kind of in between, as high as it can go and as low as it should go at all times, okay? So, all right, guys. And then lastly, after fine tuners, the pegs. Again, we only use the pegs when it's really out of tune. Most of your pegs will be the standard peg in which you will need to push and turn, and you'll hear how it jumps in between pitches. But again, you only use that when it's really out of tune, okay? So if you have any questions about how to tune, I'm definitely available. So email me. Feel free to contact our music stores, and they have information on products that might make your life a little bit easier. Again, all I use is a free app called Sound Corset, and I tune using that free app, using that method I just showed you, okay? And I'll post more content in the future. All right, guys, take care. Bye.